Janine. Totally misread that.
Janine, yes.
Janine is looking for a second date update with a guy named Steve. Hi, Janine. How are you?
I'm good. How are you? Thanks for taking my call.
Appreciate you coming on. So what's the story with Steve? How do you meet?
So I met Steve online. He seemed really cool when I met him. We kind of exchanged messages and texts and chatted for probably a week before we decided to meet.
Mm-hmm.
And over the phone, he was super funny. He was easy to talk to. I guess after just a week, I already felt like I knew him pretty well.
You clicked.
Which was really nice, feeling comfortable with somebody.
Good.
Like probably tons of people out there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Super nervous on first dates. So I definitely took it as a good sign that I got comfortable with him. So we decided to meet up for drinks, and it went really well. We hung out for probably an hour, and then he asked if I wanted to go hang out at his place, which I did.
Oh.
So we did that.
Mm.
Hung out for a couple of hours. I thought we had a really nice time. We definitely connected on more than one level.
All right.
Now nothing. And I just don't get it.
You guys talk about anything heavy? Like religion, politics?
No, I think the only thing that's nagging me that maybe I could have done differently is we slept together, and I don't know. I mean, I feel like the whole not sleeping together on the first date seems super dated, but maybe I shouldn't have done that. I don't know. I mean, I guess I'm hoping that you guys can get some answers for me.
Was there, did you notice a big difference in the vibe before and after the act?
At all. I mean, so I left his place, I don't know, it was maybe midnight, and he kissed me goodbye, and I said, text me later, and he said, absolutely. That was word, quote unquote, he said, absolutely.
Absolutely.
And then that was a week ago. So I just
so much for absolutely.
Yeah.
Huh. Okay. Huh. You said it was about a week?
Yeah, since I've heard from him.
Okay. Well, any questions, guys? Seems pretty straightforward, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm getting a little worried that she might just be a hookup, but I'm anxious to see what happens.
I hope not, but we'll find out one way or another. So, Janine, if you can hang tight, we'll take a break. When we come back, we'll call him up, see what he says.
Okay, thank you.
All right, you hang on. It's all next. Jeff and Jen, Cincinnati's Q102. All right, Janine met Steve online. You know how it goes. Exchange a few texts, maybe talk on the phone, decide to meet in person. I wonder how many times when you finally meet that person in person that you're like, oh, I just am not feeling it. They had a great conversation on the phone, but the minute we saw each other in person, it just wasn't the same thing. But that was not the case with Steve and Janine. They hit it off. They connected. They had a few drinks, spent about an hour together before they went back to his place.
I mean, what do you guys, how dated do you feel that whole attitude toward, sleeping together on the first date? Do you think people judge other people as much as, say, they did 10 years ago for doing that? Or is that more of an accepted behavior these days?
I think it's more accepted than you'll ever know.
Yeah.
I think it was accepted way back in the day as well. People just didn't talk about it.
They didn't admit that they did it?
But when something like this happens, people love to judge, especially the woman, and say, well, that's what you get for sleeping on the first date.
I was
giving
gonna
the
say
milk
the
away
same
for
thing.
free.
Yep.
Right.
It's usually older women that I feel say that'll be well, you just can't put your stuff out there.
I also think it's the energy of the two people. It may not be great for couple A, but it may be really great for couple B.
I mean, did everything go okay in those moments
That's what I'm wondering.
back at his place?
After that physical experience,
Was
do you
it a
ever
good one?
wonder, maybe it wasn't so hot for him? How was it for you?
It was, totally fine. It wasn't the best thing ever because, the first time you're with somebody, it rarely is. But, nothing that would give me pause.
Okay. Well, let's call him up and see what he says.
Yeah.
Hello, it's Steve.
Hi, Steve. It's Jeff and Jenn at Q102. How are you this morning?
Hi. How you doing, Steve?
I've been listening to you guys do second date update for years.
Oh, so
Well, thank you for
know
that.
our game. You know what's up.
It's messed up. I've known a couple of guys that got calls from you, and they were smart enough not to answer.
But not you, huh?
No.
Yeah. I don't even answer the phone if it's a number I don't know.
Same.
Yeah.
Well, let's not encourage that kind of behavior, or that could be the devil's second date
Sorry.
update. So everyone answer all calls.
Steve, I promise we'll try to make it as painless as possible. We are nice people. Will you help a girl out? She just wants to know what she did wrong. Assuming she did anything wrong, unless you got super busy or your grandma died or something. I don't know what's happening with you, but
What are you doing, Steve? What's going on?
you said you'd call her at the end of the date, or when she said, will you call me, you said absolutely.
Why did you lie?
I know. I'm going to sound like a dick here,
Yep.
okay? But whatever.
Okay.
I'm going to give it to you straight,
Please do.
all right? First thing, she showed up at the restaurant with her boobs falling out of her top,
And what's wrong with that?
okay? Well,
And
it's pleasant, of course. It's very nice, okay? The top was super tight, and all I saw was cleavage.
Okay.
Okay, it's something. It's like a car wreck. You can't take your eyes off it. Onlooker, slow down.
Yeah, but it's a first impression. You want to kind of put your best self forward, show a little cleavage. I understand that.
best assets.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit. Okay, but this was to the point where half her right nipple was showing.
So maybe leave a little more for the imagination.
I didn't know what to do. I didn't want to tell her and embarrass her, but I didn't want to sit there with her either, looking like that. So we had a couple of drinks, no notice of anything, and I said, well, let's go back to my place just to get her out. I want to... And I had some fun with those things, okay? They were obviously purchased.
Well, that's okay.
Well, no, we didn't need to go there, but okay.
I told you I was going to sound like a...
You did.
End of story. It's just not the kind of look that I would ever take home to Mom,
Oh, jeez.
Go ahead. Lay it on me.
I'm not going to because you already know.
This is another question. I mean, where are we in 2021 when it comes to cleavage and short skirts or shorts that your butt's hanging out of? Are these looks accepted by all, or do people still look at that and pass judgment?
Well, how much
or make
attention
assumptions?
is the person I'm with getting from other people in the room, and what kind of attention is it? Let's start by asking Janine, were you even aware?
Definitely not. I had no idea. Steve, I can't believe that you didn't tell me. That's pretty obvious. If someone is exposing themselves in public, it seems to me that the obvious decision there is, oh, this is a mistake, let me say something. And the fact that you didn't say anything and just let me sit there.
With your nipple hanging out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that...
Well, it's the first time I'm meeting her, and I'm like, hey, you're making a statement, definitely. I didn't know if you had a few drinks before, but it's like, okay, well, there's one thing in mind, and...
Sometimes you'll be watching the red carpet at the Oscars, and there will be some gowns that are clearly meant to reveal some, but maybe not as much as what I'm looking at right now.
Right.
Yeah, but I had this happen to me one time. I was at a pool bar in Cancun or whatever, and I had on a bathing suit that didn't have it didn't have any straps, and it just was kind of like a sweetheart neck or whatever. And I went up and ordered a drink, and I didn't realize, because I had a couple cocktails, that the top part of my nipple was hanging out of my bathing suit because it had just fallen there.
Most of us have had a nipple pop here.
Well,
or
it's
there.
a nip slip.
Yeah.
It's one of those things. And my boyfriend was like, oh, I thought you were doing it on purpose to be funny. I'm like, no, I would not just have my nipple out trying to get a couple of shots.
Oh.
But, it did give me a little quicker service, but still. But yeah, I mean, I wasn't even aware. Because
What would be you
can't
you're,
feel
you're
it.
sitting there with someone for the very first time. What words do you choose to tell them? Say, hey, I don't know if you're aware, but there's a little bit more going on with your right one than you might be intending. If not, that's
First
cool,
of all,
but I just want
you
to make
look
sure.
fabulous. Secondly, is the nipple reveal intentional, or are we making a statement here, or is that
This
an
is why
oversight?
Jeff has always had so much success with the ladies.
No doubt.
That right
Jen.
there.
No doubt.
That right there.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Even if it is intentional, she would be like, oh, yeah, it's fine.
Onward and upward.
Yeah.
Okay, so I mean, was the cleavage though? Were you intentionally going for a busty look, a cleavage revealing, sexy look? Was that intentional, or was the top fitting not quite like you thought it was, or
The cleavage was absolutely intentional. Like I
Okay.
said, I felt like we were really vibing, and I wanted to continue to impress him.
okay?
But yeah, no, I will never wear that top
it
again
was like
because I had
superhero
no
cleavage.
idea
I mean,
that
it was
that's
great
happening.
stuff,
And
you
yeah, that's horrifying to me. I'm so embarrassed.
Steve, did it occur to you to say anything to Janine in reference to?
Well, let's just say this is a learning experience, and now that I definitely will the next time, and that's some good pointers on how to bring it up. But no, at the time I was like, and I'm like, and I'm a man. It worked. So
But let me ask you this. Do you feel like because she had her boob out that was like an invitation for you to just hook up with her?
well, I didn't see it as an accident. So that's what I'm saying.
You saw that as an official invitation for sex.
An official invitation.
Bingo. Yes,
Understood. Okay, we wanted it straight.
Yep, we got it.
that's it.
Well, Janine, I'm sorry.
No, you know what? Honestly, you've saved me some trouble because this whole time I've been thinking that he was this great guy that I'm missing out on, and he's not. He's not just sounding like a he is a
That's fair.
And we'll leave it there.
There you go.
Steve, thank you for taking the call and for being straight up with us.
You got it.
Yeah, take care. Good luck.
Thank you.
There's your morning deep dive into the anatomy of the breast.
Some areolas are just so big, it's hard to keep them in the top.
That is true.
I call that the A fade. It sort
Yeah.
of fades into.
Well, we
breast.
also call it the pancake nipple.
Have you ever measured your areolas, Jen, against other women?
I don't think that I have.
We've gotten out the tape measurer and done like the circumference. Is that what
Really?
it's called? Like the diameter. I'm sorry. We've done the diameter of it before.
Where do you usually place in the competition?
I'm always small. I have very small areolas because I had a breast reduction surgery.
So did they make your nipples smaller?
Because they have to like remove them and
Right.
they try to make it proportionate, but they can't always like save all of it because some of it's just shading. So I'm always lower on the list, but there are some women that I know that, I mean, it is like a full salami.
That's big.
You know what we should do? The four of us
That's so much more than a mouthful.
should post a diameter of our areolas and do like a little.
Guess
you know,
whose it is?
yeah, whose areola
Whose
is it?
nip is this?
Yeah.
Not pictures,
Whose nip
though.
is it?
That's wrong. We have a tape measurer back here.
We have a Q102 one.
We do. Let's do it.
The
Yours are,
results may surprise you.
but you had surgery too, aren't yours a lot smaller than they used to be?
I wouldn't say that they're a lot smaller. They might be a little bit, but
They're also the coloring, the pigmentation, I think, has a lot to do with that as well. So if you're
you
very
think the
fair
darker the
skinned,
nipple is the darker, the bigger. Do you
I think so, yeah. But man, I could tell you some stories about people.
I bet.
Want to play hot or cold?
I'll just tell you later.
Tim is always cold.
I'll just bring it up on our next deep dive podcast.
There you go.
All right. Well, if we can do a second date update for you,
It's very easy. It's a matter of an email, Jeff and Jen at WKRQ.com.
you never know where these conversations are going to
Yep.
wind up. Meantime, 1K letter of the day is up next. That's your chance to win $1,000.